and welcome here to Soul Passages Astrology. I'm your astrologer, Georgia Dempsey, and I'm so glad you stopped by for your April astrological forecast. I have a feeling this month is going to be fairly big for you, Cancer rising. Your worldly standing is about to change in some fashion or another. But it all kind of starts out on April 5th when Venus enters Aries, and that will grace your 10th house of career or possibly your life path destiny, house number 9. In the 10th, the goddess of attraction can draw in raises, promotions, peachy assignments, and possibly a well-stationed mentor. Since she is in a fire sign, she will give you gusto for accomplishing your goals. Mind-expanding activities and travel are favored if Venus is blazing a path through your 9th house. This could include a long journey to a foreign location where you get to interact with people from different cultures. Think, eat, love, pray. I love that book. And the enjoyment that you can get from traipsing through, say, Italy's chapels while you taste every kind of pasta sauce there is underneath the Tuscan sun. Ooh, I love that idea. Hemisync music or some other kind of moving music could also lend itself to a mind-expanding event where you grow beyond your current boundaries and understanding of the universe. Mercury, that trickster who rules communications, will be entering Taurus on the same day. So expect some news regarding a friendship, a long-range plan, or an organization to come forth because it has to do with your 11th house. You could also hear something regarding your career if it's in your 10th house. Either way, practical matters are likely on your mind. Mercury in this sign lends itself to being methodical and sometimes fixed in opinions, but it can also enable you to build on your thoughts and plans one step at a time. Life starts getting exciting around the 7th when a new moon in Aries, conjunct Uranus, blazes through either your 9th or 10th house. To make matters more interesting, this rebellious new moon is going to reignite the Pluto-Uranus square. As if life weren't already fun enough, huh? Anyhow, this could indicate some serious power struggles with partnerships since Pluto is carousing the 7th house for many of you. You're likely seeking a way to break free from constraints and rules that make no sense to you as you head down a more liberated path in your career. Under this kind of pressure, some of you may choose to break the ties that bind in order to branch out on your own. If the new moon happens to be firing up your 9th house instead of your career sector, you could suddenly decide to go back to or leave a school setting. You might be feeling kind of an urgent need to change your life path direction so you can embrace a higher calling. Spiritual practices that are unique might interest you. With Uranus and Aries in the mix, you are being called to be courageous, to find a path that works for the newly emerging you. And that might mean breaking a path from childhood, the one that you grew up with. So maybe you are going to study astrology, undertake some dream work classes, or simply break some of the structures in your life that are no longer serving you well. Mars, the god of passion and war, will start his backwards march by moving retrograde on the 17th. For many of you, this will impact your 6th house of health, service, and everyday work activities. He will be tromping close to Saturn, who's also going backwards, so expect delays and frustrations on the job. If you've been dieting or working on some other health issues, be careful not to lose valuable ground at this time. Pluto is going to join the retrograde party on the 18th by moving backwards in your relationship sector. Wherever Pluto lands, he works at dredging up issues and hidden agendas. In this instance, you may start rehashing stuff with someone in your inner circle. For the past few years, encounters with significant people in your life have been transformative or have undergone some kind of profound change. Some of the action displayed in your 10th house, that worldly stage, could also be reflecting what's going on with either a lover, a spouse, a really dear friend, or possibly a close business partner. The sun will plod bull-like into Taurus on the 19th of the month. For many, this will encourage you to take practical steps to secure your long-range plans. You could also find yourself at the center of attention with your friends. Someone special could show up on the doorstep by the 29th, for Venus will be sashaying through your friendship sector. For others, the sun will blaze through your 10th house. Perhaps your avant-garde ideas are catching on at work, or your fresh start is paying off. Either way, you have the ability to shine in the world in a very practical manner. If matters of the heart have been a concern for you, the full Scorpio moon will reveal more fully where you stand with either your lover or child. This intense moon will be lighting up your 5th house of romance, and she is sitting right next to Juno. Now, Juno is a female goddess that has much to do with sexuality, marriage, and upholding social contracts. Her steadfastness probably came in part because she happens to be the daughter of Saturn, the setter and enforcer of rules in our lives. Now, this could represent you getting serious regarding a romantic partner. Since Juno is running retrograde like, basically everybody else in the chart here, you might also be thinking might be rethinking some of the social contracts you have in place with some of the women in your life. Juno might also be bearing a message to not be so hard with expectations regarding children. Emotions will rise like the tide under this full moon, for something is going to come to a point of culmination and be revealed, so pay attention. By the 28th, Mercury will have you rethinking things as he moves backwards through your 11th house. Long-term plans will come up for review, as will talks you've had with friends. If you revealed something to someone earlier in the month, well, you might be looking backwards in time and, wishing you could reel in whatever it was you said. That's possible. Old news is getting rehashed, or you could be revising a fun plan you've set in motion. The overall feeling for you, Cancer rising, is that April will herald in some sort of fresh start for you, either in your career or life. This could be something you boldly initiate on your own, or it could land on you with a thump from your partnership sector. No matter which way it comes down, you have what it takes to listen to your heart so you can make important changes. Happiness and new beginnings are calling your name. And I just want to give out an enormous thank you to the whole world for responding and requesting readings. I have absolutely loved my interaction with you, and I'm providing astrological advice. I've seen several of you go down some really great paths from talking, so I just think it's awesome. And I am going to, as part of good karma and getting my business started, extend my special of $50 for a 1-hour reading till June 1. So that's a rockin' deal. I probably put about 10 hours into each chart, but I'm enjoying it and I'm loving it. And anyhow, so my contact information is at the front of the video. And if I am a little bit slow in responding towards the end of March or the first couple weeks of April, it's because I'm in that Sag 2.0 restructuring process, right? And part of that for me is I'm moving across country, and I think it should be happening right then. So I can get into a more spiritual place where my toes are in soil that make me happy and I can simplify life. And that is going to enable me to work off the north end of my moon's node. So I'm pretty excited about that, but it may cause me a few delays as I'm out looking for houses and traveling across country. Now, in the meantime, if you're waiting on me, feel free to check my YouTube channel. I did a pretty fun video on the asteroid Ceres. She's a strong feminine presence in our charts. And then I did another one on Pluto and Ceres and what happens when they clash in our charts. So anyhow, I wish you an absolute wonderful April, and I hope that the changes that come your way are very positive ones.